Kevin. Yeah, thanks. It's Devon. Yeah, Devon Chadwick. What? I do appreciate you adding me to your friends list. Just to let you know a little bit about myself, I have over 2,000 clips on YouTube, on 11 channels on YouTube. Those 11 channels are named after myself, Devon Chadwick White. I wish it would have went viral, so viral globally, so that I could have found the riches and fame that I seek, or the fame and riches I seek, so that I could afford the biggest mansion, the biggest house in town, or one of the biggest in town, or some town, as well as the ones I wanted to build, as biggest homes I wanted to build for others through my company. So about that, my company, let me just mention I sent you 3 YouTube videos in the above message, the message above the pictures, and this audio clip above, and this message link is the first message I sent you. It includes 3 YouTube video links and one other link. That one other link is my website. It's the second in the lineup of links, www.dcwdcw.com, the home of my company, Devon Chadwick White Incorporated. So I'll talk about the company a little while, or not long, but right now let me focus on the 3 YouTube links, which is what I hit you up about. Just to let you know, I mentioned the biggest houses, so that's the business I'm trying to get into. If I could, those YouTube videos show biggest houses in the town that I'm in. Let me give you some example of what that means. So if I could do a list of the houses in this town, let's say the particular town I'm in, we'll say in terms of size, the list was based on size, and we're talking about single-family homes, not apartments and complexes. Apartments, townhomes, condominiums, and trailers, all of those are great properties, great places in their own right, magical in their own sense, of course. Nevertheless, the market that I picked was large single-family homes, luxury large single-family homes, the largest even. So these homes that I'm showing are those nature. So let me just say this. Okay, back to the list. If I could do it in terms of size, and with the biggest at the top of the list, these 2 properties that I sent you video of would be on the list of, I guess, 400,000 homes in this particular city I'm in, would be in the top 10%, top 5%, top 4%, top 3%, top 2% maybe? I don't know, up there somewhere, because they're pretty big properties. So just to give you an example, first of all, let me let you know they've never been on the market, so it'll be you won't find a lot of information or a lot of pictures on them since they've never been on the market. I do have plenty of properties that you can check out that are on my website that are either on the market or have been on the market or were on the market. But right now we're talking about these properties, I guess, just as rare as I am, considering that there aren't pictures of them online. Rare that I got footage of them. Anyways, if I could do if I can mention the 2 pictures I sent you, they actually show one of the properties. You can see in one of those screenshots, which is actually better than the screenshot I got when I Googled the address, since that screenshot showed the satellite image of the land that it's on, or at best I think it might have been the house that was on it before they put the bigger home there that's there now that I did the video of. Okay, so yeah, my satellite images show, there's 2 of them, pictures I sent you of one of the properties, and one of them, to show you how large it is, shows you how large it is compared to the neighbors' homes, which you can see in the picture as well. By the way, I walked through the neighborhood, drove through, so I know those neighbors' homes are nice, glorious homes. The landscapes are glorious landscapes. It's a beautiful neighborhood, by the way, so I just wanted to say that. That said, the 3rd video, I mentioned that 2 of those are those largest properties in the particular city I'm in, some of the largest properties. And so the 3rd video is actually a small apartment complex that my uncle owned. That doesn't mean I'm rich. He's never given me more than $20 at one Christmas dinner, no more than $100 bill, no more than $100 my entire lifetime. I spent 10 years homeless. And so it's not necessarily relative, but I will say big ups to him for having had a small, having had an apartment complex, as well as for being a reverend. I suppose that means he does good stuff for people. Yeah, that's actually there for size comparison, since the home that I mentioned, the one I sent pictures of, I think, matter of fact, I think, by the way, I think the apartment complex is, a 12-unit apartment complex, which is obviously not the largest. It's not a 300-unit apartment complex, but it's not the smallest, since my first apartment was in a 5-unit apartment complex, which I loved an apartment, by the way, in college, when I was in college, before homelessness or whatever. But, I think it's a 12-unit apartment complex, but this is there for size comparison. Since the property that I sent you pictures of is nearly the size of that entire small apartment complex. The other property is fairly larger, actually larger than the entire apartment complex. Okay, that said, let's talk about, since those aren't never been on the market, you won't find a lot of information on them, even though that's what I hit you up about. It's pretty glorious. I got footage of them. Anyways, yeah, I have plenty of properties on my website that you can check out. In case you want to see one virtually now, or you want to buy one now in the next month, or next year, next 2 years, next 5 years, next 10 years, next 20 years. Okay, so let you know about that. Yeah, you can go to my website. It's www.dcwdcw.com, the home of Devon Chadwick White Incorporated. If you go to the website, which the link is there in the above message, www.dcwdcw.com, and you go to the drop-down menu, you click on the U.S. tour page, and beyond the videos of me on my U.S. tour, you'll see plenty of addresses, at least 54 addresses, location addresses, with some other information there, many circumstances, which you can copy and paste an address into your Google search engine or whatever search engine
that are on the market right now for sale. In case you want to buy one now in the next year, 5, 10, 20 years.
The listing, plenty of pictures, plenty of information on the property, or more information on the property through real estate websites. So yeah. And that's the easiest way to find them on my website. Another way to find them on my website is if you go to that drop-down menu and you click on Think Tank. You let the Think Tank load for a few seconds. There's 114 Think Tank issues. There are 114 Think Tank blogs. Of those 114, at least 3 of them are listings. Not necessarily as colorful as the U.S. tour page. This is just a sheer list of home addresses and some information on them. Ones that were on the market or are on the market.
Now the U.S. tour page
I guess the most colorful one would be the international listings post I did, showing maybe one property in different countries, in each of different countries: Germany, France, China, London, or England, Italy. I think I said France, Africa. Other parts of the world. I mean, from when I started my company, even before I started my company, I always had in mind to be able to build in any place in the world a client would want me. But because I'm in the United States, I focus on the United States properties for now. So, there are listings there just to show as a sample. It doesn't necessarily show how many properties actually exist in those countries and towns, large real estate properties, luxury real estate properties, nor does it show how many are on sale, nor does it show how many already exist there and are lived in or are on the market or off market. But yeah, that's just there as a sample. It's samples for that. So I think we've covered the largest homes. Let me talk about something a little bit different now. Let's talk about some of the smallest homes, the tiny homes. So tiny home, we'll say, consists of a bathroom with a shower, a kitchen, a bed, and we'll say on the wall they have a cable TV. We'll say the TV should have cable, even with Showtime and HBO, which since you live in the United States, you know those are good movie channels. We want to use the tiny homes. They're already in use in a small way to end homelessness in certain cities, in at least one city I know of, and in another one used for homeless vets. So they're used in a small way, but I think they should be used in a very large way, commercially or governmentally financed, or 501c or something, to end homelessness in all of the United States and globally, end homelessness globally. So this is the thing, people aren't always homeless because of drugs and alcohol, as some people suppose, or because of mental issues. Oftentimes people are homeless because of family problems, or a person might have lost a spouse, or a person might have, it might have been abuse, neglect, separation, divorce. A person might have lost a job, or been laid off from a company they've been with for a long period of time. The refugee crisis, that's a form of homelessness post-war. There are other rare reasons why people are homeless. For example, a person might have been put out of college their senior year, having planned on, for no apparent reason, by the way, for having planned on using their degree upon graduation to teach school or to get into the music field, may instead find themselves in a combination of shelter and street homelessness for the following 10 years or decade of their life following that situation. So there are different reasons why people are homeless. We don't care why they're homeless. We want them housed. I think the minds affect minds. Yep, minds affect minds. I think that, the war would be alleviated. Sadness and madness and anger would be alleviated. Sickness would be alleviated. That means lessened if the homelessness is ended. For example, the homeless population is not the largest population of people in the United States. It's a minority, in fact. But I think they say we're as strong as our weakest link. So I think it definitely affects the whole. Considering non-homeless people with homes, they have good and bad moments every day. For example, and so do homeless people. They have good and bad moments every day. For example, a non-homeless person might have a bad moment at work or a bad moment in their relationship. They might have a good moment at work or a good moment at dinner or a good moment when they get off from work and they're able to get home and sit down and relax. A homeless person on the other end might have a bad moment in homelessness and having to work through that 24 hours a day, have bad moments in that. But they may have a good moment when they're able to sit down and eat, or while they're eating, or they may have a good moment at night when they finally find a place to lay their head, whether it be on a bench or a shelter, a bus bench or a shelter, or a piece of concrete on a box. When they rest, they might finally have a good moment. I'll say that's a fall moment, since the problem hasn't been handled, but some people may say otherwise, depending on, might say environmentalists or something. I don't know. Anyways, I do know that I believe the world would be a better place when homelessness is ended. So that said, I mentioned that, the homeless population is a minority, and that even though people ride past homeless people every day and they assume the next person or one of the people will help them out. And oftentimes that always does happen. Somebody does eventually come by and help them out, give them some money or some clothes or something like that, or give them a referral to a program or churches. All of that is good in a sense, but nobody really handles the problem, or do they? Not in a majority way thus far. They walk up to a homeless person and say, "Hey, you're homeless. I have a tiny home for you. Here's your keys," and give them the keys to their home. That hasn't happened yet. That's what we want to do in Ending Homelessness. By the way, the Ending Homelessness Think Tank blog is currently on the homepage of my website. So that said, I think we've covered one more thing I want to say about that. So when these tiny home communities are put into play, there will be certain rules. Like, for example, if a child is of age that they could have their own room, if they were at a home and it's a homeless family, that child would have their own tiny home. Same thing with its two spouses, whether it be a male and male, woman and woman, male and woman, male and female. Each spouse would have their own tiny home because of size parameters. Also, for example, if for some reason, we'll trust that this won't happen.
They'll be able to visit each other. They're married.
Some people put their money in trusts, to save for kids or whatever. And but in the case that like if one was burnt down or someone's tiny home was burnt down, they still have that tiny piece of land that tiny home was on to put a tent on, for example. The point is that if you see a person out after ending homelessness, if you saw a person out panhandling or whatever, that might be their choice. They might have a panhandling permit. or if you see a person that might have mental illness sitting outside, their tiny home, because you can only have one in one state, but and that might, for that person, may be in Arizona, and you see this person in Louisiana sitting around looking homeless. But the fact of the matter is, after we've ended homelessness, you'll know that's not the case. Even for that person that's being handled, they're not homeless because they have a home, because we've ended homelessness. Or you see that person sitting outside,
So
they're
there
not
should
homeless
be
because we've ended homelessness.
tiny home communities that end
I think the
homelessness
world would be a better
in all
place.
50 states.
Someone could maybe, if that person wanted to get back home, could say, "Well, I can get you a ticket. You're at your home by now," saying that that's their policy, and help them with a ticket to get back home or whatever. But we'll know that the world will be a better place because homelessness has ended. Those things in that tiny home model is shown and discussed and given video examples of currently in the Ending Homelessness blog on my homepage. More information there. You'll check that out. So I think I've covered everything, Kevin. I appreciate you adding me to your friends list. Hopefully you'll check out those three videos. I use likes and subscriptions. Other than that, I hope you have a great night.
So this message is rare because it has all of those links in it. That's actually my neighbor, and I was hoping she'd check it because her husband was a city councilman here in Raleigh, and I thought that she would be a good source, but she's probably working or something. It's my godmom. But normally it doesn't look like this, as I was sending shorter messages. I don't know why I sent her so many, but then I got into sending the longer messages, giving more detail. I was giving like general information, but obviously most of the messages don't look like that. Some recent ones might have the shorter ones, but I might have wanted people to hear the entire message. So I was using this particular one, but for example, I've had even longer ones than that, but I got tired of sending the message, making new messages, 20-minute, 24-minute, 16, 17-minute messages for each person just to say their name, even though that's important. But so I started to just reuse the message and mention that it was used prior. But I've sent this to probably 1,000 people prospectively, and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands more that I've reached out to, just promoting the company. So yeah. I only made this clip because I wanted you to hear that, but I mean, I've mentioned that homelessness, even though it's a minority, it exists in all 50 states. But I want you to hear the entire clip as I did I did the shorter second portion of the clip where I only recorded the ending homelessness part, because I wanted that on record for people that aren't on Facebook. I want it on my YouTube channel, so that they can tie for people that might see my website and see the Ending Homelessness link. And in fact, I'm going to add it into the Ending Homelessness Think Tank blog so that people can hear the message as well. So I thank all my Facebook friends. I'm still dealing with homelessness myself. I'm very rare in that I'm obviously having a GoFundMe for $100 million and having a list of over $3.6 billion worth of luxury properties on my website that are on the market. It's kind of free information, as I'm coined my own term, real estate promoter. It's kind of rare that you don't necessarily find a whole bunch of homeless people saying, "I want the biggest house in town." Well, I'm the one that is. But on the other, and I'm still dealing with homelessness, so I appreciate all of my Facebook friends being there and giving a listening ear, being a friend on Facebook and stuff like that. So yeah, but I've obviously sent this to a lot of people. Okay, I've done that as well. And like I said, I've been using that same clip, even though I've had a better, I think one of my 20-minute clips, I'll hit all of the points, including the, that it exists. Not only is it a minority, but regardless of the fact that it's a minority, it exists in all 50 states. And really maybe listen to it again so that you can hear everything I said, because there's some great points in it, how you might understand how it will help society. But yeah, plenty of people I've sent this to. And so my new friends, as they come on board, I go ahead and hit them with it and let them know, what I'm about. Unfortunately, people don't hit me back as quick as I would like trying to help. It's hard to find one that will do that, in fact, but, God's spirit really helps me and stuff like that. But, it would really be helpful to have someone to assist. Nevertheless, I think things are going to be looking forward. I started going back to church or something. So, but I was going to say that maybe it won't hit them yet, but maybe if after they listen, maybe a year later, it'll come back that this dude was really trying to bless them. Like, you might see people hinting, kind of effing with you, letting you know, letting the majority population and people know, oh, there are these huge mansions out here. We're not going to tell you the address or even show you where they're at, or that you see the real estate property and how much it costs, because you can't afford it or whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not the motive. But here I am delivering people their prospective destiny, at least giving you the address, showing you what it looks like so you can see it in your head and you have a vision of it, know what you're working towards, whether it take you a year, 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You can plan and work on it as a goal, these larger homes in society that many people may not, even though they may know exist from just knowing, okay, rich people live somewhere like movie stars and stuff like that, but they not knowing exactly what they are. For me, showing them what it is and showing, well, this can be your destiny, But a lot of people, I don't think they may not tune into that, or they're busy with their own lives. And any home is a mansion, to be honest, especially for a person like myself that's homeless. But yeah, so a lot of people are set and settled, and I'm grateful that they're blessed. But just letting them know that if they ever did have a dream of, a bigger purpose or wanting more, well, here's the delivery of it in case you want to go after that, and it's available. So yeah, so I've been sending these out and just showing you that. But the initial messages wasn't the same one. See, audio forwarded from a message to another person. But yeah, maybe it'll hit them a year later for the people that, even if for the ones that haven't checked the message, maybe eventually they'll check it and check me out. Hopefully I could get some views. Again, I was trying to get 100 views for those 3 YouTube videos, just as my own kind of private goal, just for my own fancy, I guess. But yeah. Oops. Hopefully you'll check them out. This is actually my shortest YouTube channel. I have 11 or 12 now. But that's my shortest YouTube channel with only 3 videos on it. It's kind of like in the channel description. Hopefully you'll learn some stuff about sizing properties. That is my business. Even though, again, this clip was made to talk about the other thing, ending homelessness. Since we're on the topic, I might as well cover it a little bit. You didn't get the voice clip. Okay, but a lot of people did. Maybe these I pass them. No, that's not them. September 11th. For he's in Nigeria, I suppose. Okay, so I will have to go beyond September. But yeah, like I said, I've sent it to at least 1,000 people prospectively, and more than that, I mean, I would guess 50,000 people, or maybe 100,000 people that since I started my company 5 years ago officially, and 6 years ago. Well, did I say 5? Yeah, 5 or 6 years ago. 6 years ago unofficially, I've promoted. Say, hey, I'm on YouTube, check me out, or hey, I'm trying to get into this big property and I'm trying to get money for it, or hitting banks up with a proposal which included the addresses on it and ideas of numbers and stuff like that. Some of this stuff is just coming into fruition about even the homeless community. One of my business proposals was a nonprofit option, and even ending homelessness is kind of could be a fruition in how that nonprofit could go to end homelessness, which I believe again would make the world a better place. Where are they at? Let's see. Hold on. Well, here they are. So there, for example, that one is a 14-minute, 59-second version of it. And
thanks so much. It's Devon Chadwick White. I do appreciate you adding me to your friends list.
I may have
just to let you know a little bit about myself. I have over 2,000 clips on 11 channels on YouTube. Those 2,000 clips on those 11 channels, I wish would have went viral, so globally viral, so that I could have afforded found the riches and fame I seek, so that I could afford the mansion I wanted. That's the biggest house in this town or some town, or one of the biggest, as well as the biggest that I wanted to build for others as well through my company. So that said, that's what my company is about. These large homes, these big houses. Did I mention my 11 channels were named after myself, Devon Chadwick White? My company it's Devon Chadwick White Incorporated. Actually, the website for it is www.dcwdcw.com. That's in.
So, yeah, for each person, that's Dante, for example, and Malik had a longer version. Let's see. Malik.
What's up, Malik? Yeah, it's Devon. Yeah, thanks a lot, actually. Yep, it's me, Devon Chadwick. What? I do appreciate you adding me to your friends list. I wanted to let you know a little bit about myself. I have over 2,000 clips on 11 channels in YouTube. Those 11 channels on YouTube I named after myself, Devon Chadwick White. I wish those 11 channels on YouTube, 2,000 clips on YouTube would have went viral, globally viral, so that I could have found great riches and fame, and I could have been able to afford the biggest house in the city that I live in, or some city, or one of the biggest houses.
So, yeah. I need to make note of that, because I might use that clip instead of instead of the 16-minute one. I don't know why. Maybe that hit the point because I remember I said that this in all 50 states, but that one might have hit all of the points.
Here's what I found on the web.
That I might have missed. But yeah, see, I was speaking to everyone and making a single one for every single person. There's an 18-minute, 34-second one. Notice at the beginning I speak, "What's up, Angelo? What's good, Angelo?" I'll say it again. "What's up, Angelo?"
Angelo. Yeah, thanks. It's Devon. Devon.
So yeah, I was speaking to everybody. "What's up, Prince?"
Hey, what's up, Prince? What's up, Prince? Yeah, it's me, Devon. Thank you.
So yeah, as you can see, I'm like got all of these clips. "What's up, Todd?" It's Devon.
Hey, Todd. Yeah, what's up? It's Devon. Yep, me, Devon Chadwick. What? I do appreciate you adding me to your friends list. Just to let you know a little bit about myself, I have over 2,000 clips on 11 channels on YouTube. Those 2,000 clips, which would have went viral.
So that said, yeah, I just you get some idea of that I was sending them to everybody. I probably sent 100 people, and so I made 120-minute clips to each person as they were adding me into their friends list, and eventually, hopefully, I'll check them out, and if like I can see saw it, and eventually, hit me back up or stuff like that. But anyways, I do appreciate you checking this message out, and I'm gonna go now. But be sure to check me out online, and let's try to end homelessness. Yes. See.